There are 5 horrors that you need to read that are written by women. Brother by Anaya Olburn follows Michael, who is desperate to break away from his family's disturbing traditions. He doesn't take pleasure from the girl's screams like the rest of his family does, and he longs for normalcy. Michael thinks it might finally be within reach when he meets pretty girl Alice, who works in a local record shop. But his brother Rebel is hell-bent on reminding Michael of his place in the family. This book is brutal and gruesome, and the twists will keep you on the edge of your seat right until the last page. Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia is set in Mexico in the 50s and follows socialite Naomi as she visits High Place, a secluded old manor in the Mexican countryside, to find out what is wrong with her recently married cousin after her father receives a worrying letter about her. The English family her cousin married into are strange, unsettling, and have a number of creepy secrets. This Gothic horror is sinister and haunting and will grip you from the start. Revenge by Yoko Ogawa is a collection of 11 short stories that cover dark and disturbing themes, including grief, jealousy, the loss of youth, and alienation. Rather than the typical horror of monsters and gores, these tales are terribly sad and made up of frightening truths that plague everyday people's minds. Each story has a subtle link to the next, creating one overriding story about darkness and tragedy. They Drown Our Daughters by Katrina Munro follows the story of Meredith, who after a relationship breakdown takes her young daughter and moves back home to Cape Disappointment to live with her mother. There are whispers of a curse that plague the women of the family about a monster in the water who is waiting to drown them, and after tragedy strikes, Meredith realizes her mother's superstitions might be right. This Gothic horror explores generational trauma spanning 5 generations, particularly the effects that parental decisions have on their own children, resulting in a deeply unsettling horror story. Tender as the Flesh by Augustina Bazterrica explores a world where animal meat is no longer edible, so society is turned to breeding and eating human meat. Humans that are unlike you and I in the sense that they are bred, farmed, and processed like livestock. Tender as the Flesh follows around Marcos, who works in one of the processing plants. He doesn't consume human meat, and then one day he is illegally gifted a female, which he isn't sure what to do with. This book gives a dark and unflinching look into how we consume animal products today.